Hello, good people of the internet. My name is Kate Garklavs, and I'm a content designer and strategist at 18F. 18F, if you haven't heard of it, is a digital consultancy and design firm within the federal government, and it's within the Coalition of Digital Services. Our goal is to create beautiful, useful digital products and experiences for the public. Prior to 18F, I developed educational and editorial strategies for a freelance writing-focused startup in the Bay Area. And even before that, I spent years developing online coursework and curricula for an art school, both for graduate and undergraduate students. And even further back, I taught college creative writing and composition. So I spent a long time developing resources for writers and then helping distribute those resources to different cross-functional teams. I've brought this experience to bear on my work for the federal government, most precisely in creating the 18F Writing Lab, which is an internal resource that has improved the efficiency and output of the design team without dramatically increasing spend. Creating resources for writers and their teams is one of my favorite parts of working as a content strategist, and this brings me to the topic of my presentation, the benefits of content labs and how you can create one at your own organization. So what is a content lab? Excellent question. You might already be familiar with the concept of the content lab, or maybe you're not. As I define it, a content lab is a volunteer-staffed, cross-team resource that provides ad hoc writing, editing, content strategy help, basically whatever you need. The beauty of the concept of the content lab is that it's extremely customizable. So, it's able to take the form that will best benefit your organization. It's really more of a template than kind of a cut and dried program. So, I mentioned that the lab is volunteer-staffed, and this is a very deliberate and important point. Because membership in the lab is voluntary, participant motivation remains high, which ultimately ensures higher quality output and also kind of staves off the burnout that can happen when membership in something is not voluntary. This is a good time to talk about some of the other benefits of content labs, and they are numerous. Number one, as I mentioned, is the lab is customizable to your company and your team, so it can really be easily modified to suit your organization. Because the lab can cover as many or as few types of content and editing and writing needs as you have, it can expand and contract as your organization's needs do. Number two is you can use the lab as a diagnostic tool, and this is a really cool benefit. We've seen this happen at 18F, and it's something that you can use at your organization as well. But by monitoring the types of requests the lab receives for writing editorial and strategy help, the lab itself acts as a means of diagnosing poorly understood concepts or under-resourced types of projects within an organization. And my presentation is going to cover in depth how your team can use your content lab to make better resourcing and educational decisions. Benefit three, it surfaces talent, right? It helps draw attention to folks who are really good at, doing certain types of writing or editorial tasks. And number four is the lab really helps with employee morale and retention. It's a lot of fun, when people can self-select for certain types of projects, when they can work on what they're passionate about, it really boosts morale and helps people feel like they're making a positive contribution to their organization. So content labs, as I've been talking a little bit about, are a great resource for teams of all sizes with all types of resourcing, all different types of skill composition. At this point, you might be thinking, this sounds like a cool concept. How can I get my own lab started? Excellent question. The remainder of my talk will actually focus on some examples from the 18F Content Lab, and also, get into the nitty-gritty, how you yourself can start your own content lab with, basically just yourself, maybe a few other participants, and motivation. It's pretty easy to bootstrap a lab if you've got a few dedicated individuals. Just to wrap up, I wanted to say that at its core, good content is about meeting the user where they're at and making sure you're delivering on their needs. And likewise, the Content Lab serves that sort of purpose for organizations. Labs make accessible previously hidden or maybe underutilized resources and help fulfill teams' resourcing needs. So in that way, it kind of mirrors the form of good content itself. I would love to be able to share my experience and knowledge and resources with you and help you start a lab at your own company if that's something you're interested in. So thanks for listening, and I really hope to see you at Confab. Take care, good people of the internet.